Hey everybody, it's BJ from Patrick and BJ Talk Real Estate. And have we got a surprise for you today? If you've ever wanted to own your own business, and in this case, to own your own brewery, we're going to take a tour through the Small Block Brewery. Now, this is a listing that I have that's on the market right now. And you're going to get a look at everything that's involved in the brewery from the start to the finish. And if you want, you can reach out to me directly and I'll arrange to get you in here and have a look at everything. You can find out about if it's your wheelhouse to own your own brewery. So here we are at the main entrance. We're going to go inside. There's a tasting room kind of in the front, and we're going to have a walk through the brewery in the back and have a look upstairs at the kitchen, and there's some office and admin space. But let's start our tour and let's go have a look. All right, so through the front doors, we come into the tasting room. So you can see it's laid out with a number of tables, chairs, all those kind of things. We'll have a walk through that, but right up here is the bar, and we'll take a walk around the back as well. But what you'll see is we have all the beer on tap, which is made in this side over here, and we'll see about how it's in coolers and how it comes over and everything else like that. But to start with, let's have a look down here. So, of course, we have the bar and everything. This is all the point of sale information, material that you'll need, obviously, if you're running the tasting room. This is where the people are paying for their product. One thing to keep in mind, if this is something that you want to take on, the biggest part of growing a business like this is getting out to the liquor stores and getting out to restaurants so that you can be shipping out your beer in quantity to all the local establishments and things like that. But otherwise, we have the, like I said, the bar here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on tap here right now. And then there's the dishwasher that you walk through. And again, like we're coming through, there's a small sink here, and there's storage and all the, we have all the cups and the small blocks. So the way this business is working in terms of how we're selling it, if you're interested, we're selling the assets of the business. If you're interested in keeping the small block name, that's something that you can talk to me about, that we're prepared to include. But if you were to say, I just want to take over everything that's here and I want to rebrand and do my own thing, that's an option as well. So let's continue on from there, and we'll go over to the general seating area and see what's over here. All right, so here we are in the tasting room, and you can see there's all the seating that's around me here, and just along the one wall here, there's the different food items that get served here. And they don't serve kind of major food stuff here, but nachos and chili dogs and things like that. And obviously all the different kinds of beer that are offered here and everything else like that. And they're generally offered in smaller quantities. This isn't like a bar or a full-time pub that's going to be open until midnight or anything like that. What you choose to do with it if you buy this business is obviously up to you and how you want to do that. But let's continue on and just see the rest of the area. So we have the washrooms over here to the one side. And as you see back here, this area is used on weekends. They'll have live bands in and performing and things like that. And then there's a patio area out back that in the summer gets used quite a bit as well. All right, so that's the tasting room. And before we go upstairs, I just want to show you the cooler here has a number of the different beers that are made here. If you were to say, hey, I love the idea, but I don't want to reinvent the wheel, we are prepared to include the recipes, and the brewer will consider staying on if the situation is right as well. So there's lots of different options here, whether you want to take it and do your own thing or you want to build on what's already here. So let's continue on upstairs. We're going to see upstairs we have a kitchen, which, as we said, there's not massive kind of food here, but there's a kitchen you'll see that is appointed enough to serve what needs to be done here with nachos and chili dogs and things like that. And then also the office space upstairs as well. So come on, let's head on upstairs. All right, so here we are in the kitchen. You can see the commercial sinks on the one side, the dishwasher over here, and of course all our countertops and everything over here, and the range and the fan and so forth. So that, as we said, it's not a major kitchen because it's not a major thing of what gets served here. You're free to expand it accordingly if you were to produce a business, and obviously do with it what makes the most sense for you and your business model. But that's what's here for the kitchen. Like I said, it's a compact space, but it's appointed for what they do with it, which is, we call it pub food, right? We call it like nachos and the chili dogs and those kind of things. So let's continue on this way, and we're gonna head into the office. It's a very basic space. Offices tend to be that way. It's just got room for some desks and some computers, and there's some filing and things like that up here. So you would essentially use this for whatever you wanted, but it's used right now as the office, and all the management and that kind of thing gets done up here. All right, so we're in the brewery proper, and this is where the magic happens, right? So I have with me Aaron, who handles a lot of different things here, from some of the brewing, the recipes, and everything else. So he's going to give us an idea of kind of what's here, and if you wanted to start your own brewery, you have to bring in all of this stuff that you'll see back here. So obviously this is all included with the business, and as we said, there's an option if you want to keep the small block name. If you want to reinvent it, that's fine too. But Aaron, thank you for taking some time to be here.
Absolutely.
Maybe just tell me or tell us, what's the process? Someone's going to make some beer. What's the process?
Absolutely. So we've got a 10 hectoliter brewing system. We bring in, of course, the malt. And we've got a malt mill where we'll mill the grain down, basically like a big coffee grinder, and it's going to be carried up through the auger to the grist mill up behind me, or sorry, the grist hopper up behind me.
Okay.
From
and
there,
that's
that conical one right
okay,
above us.
Yeah, I got it.
So it's going to hold on to it until we're ready, and then we've got a hot liquor tank. So basically just a great big hot water tank. Okay. And this is actually set for double brew size. So that's a 3,500 liter tank. Okay. So you could actually brew twice in one day. Okay. But we'll infuse water into that as it drops into the mash tun. Okay. And once it's in there and it's all really well mixed together, this is a hand paddle system, so you do need a little bit of arm work.
So you're going to mix it in there.
So we're going to mix it in here. The mash tun is going to hold on to it for about an hour while it converts the malt into maltose sugars. Okay. Once that's done, we're going to rinse it until we get it over into the kettle to produce about 1,500 liters worth of wort, is what it's called. Okay. So the raw beer before it's being boiled or hops being added to it. We've got a direct fire kettle at about 1,600 liters. So direct fire meaning that there's a gas firebox underneath it, which kind of cuts costs a little bit because there isn't a steam generator and all the stuff that comes along with that. We'll boil it, and once it gets up to a boil, we'll start adding hops in at the schedule of whatever that beer happens to require.
Okay. So you have, and that's the recipes we talked about.
That's
so there's
the
a
recipes,
recipe.
yeah.
So is that where you start putting in the certain amounts of different things and the
part of that happens at the grain mill, so you're going to blend a certain variety of grains together or malts together in order to get us to that particular recipe that we're looking for. Okay. In the kettle is where the hops are going to be added in.
Okay, so even back at the beginning, you're going to have certain quantities of things that go in based on the recipes that are already here.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
From there, once it's boiled, and that'll probably take about an hour for it to finish off with all of our hop additions and everything else. Okay. Now we've got to cool it back down. So it's going to pass through a heat exchanger right here, which is going to drop it back down to yeast pitching temperatures.
Okay.
The nice part about, again, with the direct fire and not using steam is the water that we use to cool the beer is actually being fed right back into the hot liquor tank.
Okay.
So we're harvesting some of the energy
Sure.
that we spent.
Yeah.
So there's some efficiencies that are gained through using this sort of process.
Sure. Yeah.
Once it's cooled, we're going to inject it into one of our 4 conical fermenters right here and behind you.
Right.
So each one of those can hold about 1,300 liters of beer with a little bit of head space.
Okay.
And it's going to go through primary and secondary fermentation in there. Once it's finished up, we'll move it over into one of the bright tanks where we can carbonate up the beer.
Smaller.
Yeah.
And how long does this take now?
This is going to take probably between 3 and 4 weeks, depending on the variety of beer that we're making.
Okay, and you said 1,500 liters?
That's about 1,300 liters in there.
1,300 liters?
We usually end up, once it's in the bright tank, just due to losses in yeast harvests and what have you,
Yeah.
we usually end up around the 1,100 liter mark in the tanks.
Okay, so you're gonna need more than one day to drink that.
You probably need a couple of days. Probably a couple of days. So as you can see, we've got four conical fermenters, and then we've got 5 bright tanks.
Okay.
So on the finished beer side, pre-packaging, we've got about 5 to 5,500 liters worth of product that we can hold on the bright tank side.
Okay.
While we're fermenting about 4,000 liters of beer on the
On the other
fermentation side.
right.
Yep.
And then I know you guys bring somebody in and he does all your canning and everything of the brands. And
That's
so
right.
forth.
So we bring in a mobile canner for the actual can product.
Right.
And then we also, of course, keg in-house for ourselves, plus restaurant customers, bars, pubs, that sort of thing.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. Well, excellent. Thank you for that. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it. And I know for all of you that are watching, you might be like, wow, I just went over my head. Well, you can always play it back because we're on YouTube. But if you want to know specifically more information, please reach out to me. If you'd like a personal tour, I'm happy to bring you through, show you everything that's here, and present to you the options. I think there's a lot of great options of how you can grow the business, how you can grow this brand, build your own brand, but I'm happy to help you go through that process. And we have a few more things we're going to look at, but if you want to do that, we're going to put all the contact information in the description right now, and you can reach out to me and I'll get back to you right away, and we'll bring you through for a personal tour. I mean, how great is that? Who wouldn't want a personal tour of your own brewery? So certainly feel free to reach out for that. And Aaron, thank you for your time. Appreciate that. And okay, let's continue on. Hey, you know, I still haven't been able to find Patrick, but I'm sure he's around here somewhere. Being that it's a brewery and there's all this beer, there's all sorts of different potential places he could have ended up. But in the meantime, let me show you the cooler. And what you'll see in here on one side are all the kegs that feed the bar. So we've already been up to the bar and looked at the taps and everything out there. They're all fed from here. And then also the cans that are here, obviously are here for storage, whether you're shipping them out or they're eventually going to get it in the cooler that we looked at in the front. Again, as I've said before, if you have any interest in what you've seen, if you'd like to find out more about it, please reach out to me. The contact information is in the description, and I'm happy to help you, bring you through for a personal tour and show you everything that's here and help you with working through the details and seeing if this makes sense for you.